Prime Minister Narendra Modi shares his thoughts in the 80th episode of monthly Mann Ki Baat program. Remembers Major Dhyan Chand on his birth anniversary today. Says Indian hockey team's feat at the Tokyo Olympics has drawn the youth to sports. Asserts that is a great tribute to Major Dhyan Chand. Prime Minister Modi highlights the importance of Sanskrit as the carrier of wisdom and knowledge, asks people to learn Sanskrit to experience the true Indian wisdom. Says today Sanskrit is being adopted to suit modern trends. Prime Minister Modi lauds the role of skilled persons in sustenance of modern society. Says tradition of Vishwakarma Puja is proof that India has always valued the importance of labour and skill. Union Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur launches Fit India app on the occasion of National Sports Day today. Urges citizens to download the free mobile application, which will help monitor their fitness and thereby contribute to the Fit India movement. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says the government is changing its security strategy in Afghanistan with the evolving situation there. Also says the government is considering formation of brigade-sized agile and self-reliant integrated battle groups and Tour of Duty initiative for making Indian Army more agile. US President Joe Biden warns of another terror strike against the US troops. That's highly likely as the troops begin withdrawal from Kabul airport. France and Britain look to propose a safe zone in Kabul. Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discusses the situation with his US counterpart Antony Blinken. And in sports, it's about the Tokyo Paralympics. Bhavina-Ben Patel signs off with a historic silver medal in her maiden Paralympic Games. The PM congratulates Bhavina-Ben, says her life journey is motivating and will also draw more youngsters towards sports. Hello and good afternoon. You're with DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. First up, Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared his thoughts in the 80th episode of monthly Mann Ki Baat program. The PM remembered the great hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand on his birth anniversary today. The PM said that Indian hockey team's feat at the Tokyo Olympics has drawn the youth to sports. Underlining India's stellar performance at the Tokyo Olympics, the PM said that this passion for sports is the greatest tribute to Major Dhyan Chand.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his Mann Ki Baat program paid rich tributes to hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand on his birth anniversary. It was also celebrated as National Sports Day. Prime Minister Modi linked India's stellar performance at the Tokyo Olympics with the memory of Major Dhyan Chand.
दुनिया में भारत की हॉकी का डंका बजाने का काम ध्यानचंद जी की हॉकी ने किया था और 4 दशक बाद करीब 41 साल के बाद भारत के नौजवानों ने, बेटे और बेटियों ने हॉकी के अंदर फिर से एक बार जान भर दी और कितने ही पदक क्यों न मिल जाए, लेकिन जब तक हॉकी में पदक नहीं मिलता भारत का कोई भी नागरिक विजय का आनंद नहीं ले सकता है। और इस बार ओलंपिक में हॉकी का पदक मिला, 4 दशक के बाद मिला।
Prime Minister appealed to the countrymen that the momentum in sports and games should be maintained and should be strengthened further so that India emerges as a world power in sports.
अब देश में खेल, खेलकूद, स्पोर्ट्समैन स्पिरिट अब रुकना नहीं है। इस मोमेंटम को पारिवारिक जीवन में, सामाजिक जीवन में, राष्ट्र जीवन में स्थायी बनाना है, ऊर्जा से भर देना है, निरंतर नई ऊर्जा से भरना है। घर हो, बाहर हो, गांव हो, शहर हो, हमारे खेल के मैदान भरे हुए होने चाहिए। सब खेलें, सब खिलें। और आपको याद है ना, मैंने लाल किले से कहा था, सबका प्रयास। जी हाँ, सबका प्रयास। सबके प्रयास से ही भारत खेलों में वो ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर सकेगा जिसका वो हकदार है। मेजर ध्यानचंद जी जैसे लोगों ने जो राह बताई है, उसमें आगे बढ़ना हमारी जिम्मेवारी है। बरसों बाद देश में ऐसा कालखंड आया है कि खेलों के प्रति परिवार हो, समाज हो, राज्य हो, राष्ट्र हो, एक मन से सब लोग जुड़ रहे हैं।
Prime Minister has urged the nation that with collective endeavor, let us transform the mantra of Sabka Prayas into reality. Talking to the youth of the country, Prime Minister said that we must garner expertise in variety of sports. He added that even in villages, sports competitions should be held successfully. Bureau Report, DD India.
And the PM also highlighted the importance of Sanskrit as a symbol of wisdom and knowledge. Speaking in his Mann Ki Baat program, the PM has asked people to learn Sanskrit to experience the true Indian wisdom. He said that today Sanskrit is being adopted to suit modern trends as well. Sanskrit is the soul of India. It symbolizes India's wisdom. Prime Minister Narendra Modi underscored the importance of Sanskrit and said that while Sanskrit is preserving our ancient knowledge, it's keeping pace with modern times as well. In this regard, he cited how Sanskrit is being used as the method of communication by a group of radio jockeys in Gujarat.
नमो नमः सर्वेभ्यः। मम नाम गंगा। भवन्तु शृण्वन्तु रेडियो यूनिटी 90 FM एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत। अहम् एकता मूर्तेयाः मार्गदर्शिका एवं रेडियो यूनिटी माध्यमे आर्जे अस्मि। अद्य संस्कृत दिनम् अस्ति। सर्वेभ्यः बहवः शुभकामनाः अस्ति। सरदार वल्लभभाई पटेल महोदयस्य लोहपुरुषः इति उच्यते। त्रयोदशाविंशतिसहस्रतमे वर्षे लोहसङ्ग्रहस्य अभियानं प्रारब्धम्। 34 टन् परिमितं लोहस्य गलनं कृतम्। झारखण्डस्य एकः कृषकः मृद्गरस्य दानं कृतवान्। भवन्तु शृण्वन्तु रेडियो यूनिटी 90 FM एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत।
Today, Sanskrit is being taught in schools and universities all over the world. The PM underlined the importance of Sanskrit worldwide and said that many people in different nations are engaged in the inspirational work of teaching Sanskrit. The PM made a reference to a well-known Sanskrit scholar and teacher in Ireland, Rutger Kortenhorst. He also spoke about Dr. Chitrapat Prabandavidya and Dr. Kusuma Rakshamani, who are promoting Sanskrit language in Thailand. Another person who found mention in the PM's address is Professor Boris Zakharin, who teaches Sanskrit at the Moscow State University in Russia.
अमृतम संस्कृतम मित्र सरसम सरलम वचः एकता मुल्कम राष्ट्रे ज्ञान विज्ञान पोषकम। अर्थात हमारी संस्कृत भाषा सरस भी है, सरल भी है। संस्कृत अपने विचारों, अपने साहित्य के माध्यम से ये ज्ञान विज्ञान और राष्ट्र की एकता का भी पोषण करती है, उसे मजबूत करती है। संस्कृत साहित्य में मानवता और ज्ञान का ऐसा ही दिव्य दर्शन है जो किसी को भी आकर्षित कर सकता है। हाल ही में मुझे कई ऐसे लोगों के बारे में जानने को मिला जो विदेशों में संस्कृत पढ़ाने का प्रेरक कार्य कर रहे हैं। ऐसे एक व्यक्ति हैं श्रीमान रटगर कॉर्टेनहॉर्स्ट, जो आयरलैंड में संस्कृत के जाने माने विद्वान और शिक्षक हैं और वहाँ के बच्चों को संस्कृत पढ़ाते हैं। इधर हमारे यहाँ पूरब में भारत और थाईलैंड के बीच सांस्कृतिक संबंधों की मजबूती में संस्कृत भाषा की भी एक अहम भूमिका है। डॉक्टर चिरापत प्रपंड विद्या और डॉक्टर कुसुमा रक्षामणि, ये दोनों थाईलैंड में संस्कृत भाषा के प्रचार प्रसार में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा रहे हैं। उन्होंने थाई और संस्कृत भाषा में तुलनात्मक साहित्य की रचना भी की है। ऐसे ही एक प्रोफेसर हैं श्रीमान बोरिस जाखरिन, रशिया में मॉस्को स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी में ये संस्कृत पढ़ाते हैं। उन्होंने कई शोध पत्र और पुस्तकें प्रकाशित की हैं। उन्होंने कई पुस्तकों का संस्कृत से रूसी भाषा में अनुवाद भी किया है। इसी तरह सिडनी संस्कृत स्कूल ऑस्ट्रेलिया के उन प्रमुख संस्थानों में से एक है जहां विद्यार्थियों को संस्कृत भाषा पढ़ाई जाती है। ये स्कूल बच्चों के लिए संस्कृत ग्रामर कैंप, संस्कृत नाटक और संस्कृत दिवस जैसे कार्यक्रमों का भी आयोजन करते हैं।
Efforts which have been made in recent times have brought a new awareness about Sanskrit. The PM said that now is the time to double down on our efforts in this direction. Bureau Report, DD India. And the PM has also extended greetings for Krishna Janmashtami. He asked the countrymen to carry forward the great traditions of the country. The PM also narrated an inspirational excerpt from a conversation with Jadurani Dasi, a US citizen associated with ISKCON.
Extending greetings to the countrymen for the upcoming festival of Krishna Janmashtami, Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged the people to carry forward the great traditions of India. He also narrated inspirational excerpts from his conversation with Jadurani Dasi, a US citizen who is associated with ISKCON. Jadurani Dasi is connected to the Hare Krishna movement and is skilled in bhakti arts. In his conversation, Prime Minister also remembered Sri Prabhupada Swamiji, whose 125th birth anniversary will be celebrated on 1st September.
Will you please tell me, what does India mean to you?
Prime Minister Ji, India means everything to me. I was mentioning, I think, to the Honorable President a few days ago that India has come up so much in technical advancement and following the West very well with Twitter and Instagram and iPhones and big buildings and so much facility. But I know that that's not the real glory of India. What makes India glorious is the fact that Krishna himself, the Avatari, appeared here. And all the avatars appeared here. Lord Shiva appeared here. Lord Ram appeared here. All the holy rivers are here. All the holy places of Vaishnava culture are here. And so India, especially Vrindavan, is the most important place in the universe. Vrindavan is the source of all the Vaikuntha planets, the source of Dwarka, the source of the whole material creation. So I love India.
Prime Minister also said that when people of the world pay heed to Indian spiritual systems and philosophy, Indians also have a responsibility to carry forward these great traditions. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, let's now talk about National Sports Day, which is being celebrated to honor the birth anniversary of hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand. A Fit India movement also has completed 2 years today. On this day in 2019, Prime Minister Modi launched the Fit India movement with the vision of making India a fit and healthy nation. And on the occasion, Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur paid floral tributes to hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand. To mark the day and as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Anurag Singh Thakur launched the Fit India mobile app as well today at Delhi's iconic Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. Extending best wishes to all sports persons, coaches and those who've dedicated their life to sports, the minister urged people to take a pledge and aim to make India a sporting powerhouse. About the Fit India app, he said that this is a free mobile application which will help monitor fitness. The minister added that one must not forget the fitness ka dose, Aadha Ghanta Roz slogan.
युवा कार्यक्रम और खेल विभाग के द्वारा ये फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट के अंतर्गत ही फिट इंडिया मोबाइल ऐप लॉन्च आज की जा रही है। आप चलते फिरते भी कभी ये ध्यान नहीं देते होंगे कि आपने कितनी फिटनेस अपनी की, क्योंकि आप उसको मॉनिटर नहीं करते हो। इसके माध्यम से आप मॉनिटर कर पाओगे कि आप प्रतिदिन कितने स्टेप चले हो, कितनी एक्सरसाइज की है, क्योंकि आप अपना फिटनेस टेस्ट भी इस पर कर सकते हो। आप बाकियों के साथ इस पर कंपीट भी कर सकते हो। इसमें जो ऐप है उसके माध्यम से कहीं ना कहीं फिटनेस इज इजी एक दर्शाने का काम भी किया गया है, फन एंड फ्री है ये भी बताने का काम किया गया है, एंड कैन बी डन एनीवेयर। आप कहीं पर भी, अपने घर पे, पार्क में, बाहर, ऑफिस में, कहीं पर भी कोई फिटनेस एक्टिविटी करते हैं उसको मॉनिटर किया जा सकता है।
President Ramnath Kovind today inaugurated Ramayan Conclave in Ayodhya during his 4-day visit to Uttar Pradesh. He also launched several schemes of Culture and Tourism Department. Addressing the gathering, the President said Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore had said that both the Ramayana and the Mahabharata contain the visions of the soul of India. He added that it can be said that the ideals of Indian life values, their stories and teachings are contained in the Ramayana.
गुरुदेव रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर ने कहा था कि रामायण और महाभारत ये दो ऐसे ग्रंथ हैं कि जिसमें भारत की आत्मा के दर्शन होते हैं। ये कहा जा सकता है कि भारतीय जीवन मूल्यों के आदर्श, उनकी कहानियां और उपदेश रामायण में संपूर्ण रूप से समाहित है। मेरा भी मानना है कि रामायण एक ऐसा विलक्षण ग्रंथ है जो राम कथा के माध्यम से विश्व समुदाय के समक्ष मानव जीवन के उच्च आदर्शों और मर्यादाओं को प्रस्तुत करता है।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the changing equation in Afghanistan is a challenge for India, and these situations have forced us to rethink our strategy. He also said that India is changing its strategy, and the formation of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue or Quad underlines this strategy only.
अफगानिस्तान में बदलती इक्वेशंस एक बहुत ही, इसे मैं एक चुनौती मानता हूं अपने लोगों के लिए भी, और इन परिस्थितियों ने आज हमारे देश को अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी पर सोचने के लिए मजबूर किया है। हम अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी में बदलाव ला रहे हैं। क्वेड का फॉर्मेशन जो कि इंडिया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अमेरिका और जापान को मिला जुला कर बना है, इसी स्ट्रेटेजी के अंतर्गत ही इसका फॉर्मेशन किया गया है, इस क्वेड का भी।
The Defence Minister also said that the Defence Ministry is very seriously considering the formation of integrated battle groups and tour of duty initiative for making the Indian Army more agile. He added that these groups will not only facilitate faster decision making but also increase the number of integrated fighting units.
इंटीग्रेटेड बैटल ग्रुप्स के बारे में भी आपको जानकारी होगी। इसका गठन, जिस पर भी रक्षा मंत्रालय काफी गंभीरतापूर्वक विचार कर रहा है, और आप सब अवगत हैं कि युद्ध के दौरान क्विक डिसीजन मेकिंग एक मेजर और इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है। डिवीजन और ब्रिगेड की संरचना को बदलकर इंटीग्रेटेड बैटल ग्रुप करने से हमें एक तरफ फास्टर डिसीजन मेकिंग मिलेगी, वहीं दूसरी ओर इंटीग्रेटेड फाइटिंग यूनिट्स की संख्या में भी इजाफा होगा, यानी वृद्धि होगी।
Yesterday, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke to US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and discussed the latest developments in Afghanistan. Both the leaders discussed a broad range of shared priorities, including continued coordination on Afghanistan and in the United Nations. Secretary Blinken and Minister Jaishankar agreed to remain closely coordinated on shared goals and priorities to deepen the India-US partnership. Now, Taliban fighters stepped up their presence at Kabul's Hamid Karzai International Airport as the US warned that there was a high risk of further blasts. Armed Taliban fighters were seen guarding entrances into the airport and manning checkpoints as they tightened control over the area, preventing locals from coming near the airport. US forces are now in the final phase of their evacuation from Kabul, and just over 1,000 civilians inside the airport remain to be flown out before troops are withdrawn. As troops are flown out, there is increasing concern about the threat posed to the airport by terrorists from the Islamic State Khorasan group, with a focus on rocket attacks and vehicle-borne explosives. And amidst the crisis, US President Joe Biden has warned that another attack on Kabul airport is highly likely, saying commanders have told him it could come as early as Sunday, that's today. The State Department has urged all US citizens to leave the area near the airport because of a specific and credible threat. The US is continuing evacuations, but the final UK troops, diplomats and officials have now left Kabul. A suicide bombing near the airport on Thursday resulted in some 170 deaths. A local branch of the Islamic State group, Islamic State of Khorasan Province, ISKP, has claimed responsibility for the attack. In retaliation, the US carried out a drone strike on eastern Afghanistan late on Friday. Joe Biden said Friday's strike was not the last. Also, according to US officials, there were fewer than 4,000 troops left at the airport. The United States and allies have taken about 111,900 people out of Afghanistan in the past 2 weeks.
Profile planners or one planner, one facilitator that are no longer on their muster roll. So they have lost some capability to plan and to conduct missions. As I said earlier, the threat stream is still active, still dynamic. We're still laser focused on that and force protection.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called a meeting of the permanent members of the Security Council to discuss the chaotic situation in Afghanistan. At the meeting, France and Britain will submit a resolution on Afghanistan proposing a safe zone in Kabul to try and protect people trying to leave the country. French President Emmanuel Macron said the resolution proposal aims to define a safe zone in Kabul under UN control, which would allow humanitarian operations to continue. Britain, France, the United States, China and Russia are the Security Council's permanent veto-wielding members. The full Security Council last met on Afghanistan on the 16th of August, a day after the Taliban swept to power in the country, capturing Kabul. And before we wind up this particular bulletin, let's quickly take a look at the COVID-19 situation across the country as well, where the recovery of 35,840 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3,18,88,642. India's recovery rate now stands at 97.53%. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and the state as well as union territories continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases that's being reported for 63 consecutive days now. 45,083 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. Active caseload is presently 3,68,558. Active cases presently constitute 1.13% of the country's total positive cases. The testing capacity across the country is being expanded as we speak. The last 24 hours saw a total of 17,55,327 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 51.86 crore cumulative tests. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, weekly positivity rate at 2.28% remains less than 3% for the last 65 days. The daily positivity rate stands at 2.57%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 3% for the last 34 days and below 5% for 83 consecutive days now. And that's all we have for the moment in this edition of the news. But for all the latest, do stay tuned to DD India.